Welcome, Sudo. Welcome, Arnold. Good to see you guys again. And Lise, good to see you as well. Let's wait 1 minute for some people to join and then we get into it. Just seeing what the other assets did. Interesting market, especially with the weekend approaching. Eyeballs. Okay. Let's first start quickly looking at hype because I've not seen how the Model 1 further developed. It's already what kind of expected. We had super clean Model 1, 1, 2, 3, with that bearish break right here. And then we confirmed it with this move down, lower high, lower low. And we wicked into this local supply. And then went down, lower low, lower high, lower low. But as said, often on super bullish assets, or bearish, depends on what it is. But hype is, for example, a super bullish asset. Then it's wise to set your take profit, or like a big take profit, at the extreme liquidity, which is if you have your range and you have your range low right here, then your extreme liquidity is the first higher low. So in this case, that was this level. And then you also see here the clear example of why, because price gave like a 1, 2, kind of a tree drive into that extreme liquidity and is now pushing up quite aggressively again. So if you took like a big part out after taking that extreme liquidity, then you had nice profits. While if you had like all your full TP at the range low, which is your technical target, then right now you see like yeah, you would stress if your position because this could rotate all the way back. So often good to if you have such a bullish asset and you have such a clean extreme liquidity point to take out majority there, and then you can just chill. For now, hype, yeah, a good range to work with. So we had the Model 1. Still most interested to look for longs if we take out the range low into this demand. Then longs make a lot of sense again. And otherwise we can just look to play rotations within the range. Welcome Zlatan and Kijos, of course. And happy Friday indeed. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin because we had some interesting price action. Yesterday we had quite a wild session where we first traded here, then we had an aggressive dump on New York Open, taking out the initial range low, but we perfectly held the anchored view up from this low. So price wicked into it and then buyer stepped in. And then we basically just respected this range. Where this morning we had that nice push into the range high, where I took a local long. And right now we are pushing up again and into that high time frame supply, where I'm potentially gonna look for swing shorts. So super interesting. But let me first explain my long in a minute. Let's see. Yeah, so it was basically here. Yesterday we had this aggressive push down on the New York Open, leaving behind this or creating like this supply, and then price gave like a strong bounce. And that's what you often see, is that if you have such a strong bounce dump, then oftentimes it's also vector candles. See, yeah, so big red vector candles, and often times price likes to fill them and then retrace again. So yesterday we had that as well, where we came into it, then came down, and there formed their higher low, and there basically broke the structure back to bullish, because basically at low, high, low, 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 lower high, lower low into your range low. So this was basically the breaker structure. So with this move above, we basically broke structure back to bullish. And that was where I was like, okay, I hoped for the Model 2, the extended Model 2, 1, 2, and then form like the higher low anywhere around here. But since we were already breaking structure back to bullish and the volume profile price was above the value area high, so then you can see that there's like almost no volume here. So then price can travel easily into new weekly highs. And we had weekly statistics that also showed like weekly highs are most likely. So therefore I was a bit more aggressive with the long. And if you see right here, so we had low, high, higher low, higher high. So I was looking for like a higher low for a higher high. Just continuation of that local bullish trend. And then here price had an imbalance between these candles. So this candle and that candle, the imbalance between, and it got perfectly filled. So we had like a fill of that, let's call it the single prints. So perfect fill. And that was where I was interested in the longs. And did we tap this demand? No, we front ran the demand. So what we had very locally, and this is what like the whole week like the local bottoms and tops we took have been created by like these local model 1 into a model 2. So you have to be on the low time frame to actually spot them. But what we had was like a turning down. So you pull your range technically from low to high, but I already see like 1, 2, 3. So very local tree drive, which can be like this first sign of an of absorption, which means that buyers are absorbing price here to eventually push price higher again. And then let's delete this for a moment. Then price formed high, higher high, higher low, higher high. So at this point, this is your extreme liquidity. And then price took that extreme liquidity right here, giving like a very, very local model 1, 3 drives down into a model 2. And we had nice buy side liquidity basically into that daily high right here. So at this point I was like, okay, tapped also in this like little demand like that, actually perfectly with that third tap. And at that point, or I was not watching it from here, but more when we broke back to bullish bus right here. So if we look at the structure, you have basically low from internal, high, higher low, higher high. This is the lowest low technically internally. So here we broke it back to bullish. And that's where this local range technically turns into an accumulation range or like a Rimsey play. So my first idea was to look for mitigation continuation. However, as I saw this local 1, 2, 3, 4, I was like, okay, that looks like pretty good on the low time frame. How does it look on the high time frame? So where is the chart? Here you can see on the 2 hour, for example, that you have like that rounded bottom effect, which also shows absorption. Then with buyers, and we had the daily low. Let's show it here. If it wants to load. Yeah, daily low at hour 2. So that's potentially a strong daily low created in early Asia. And that was exactly the third tap of that local low. And at that moment, I was like, okay, let me get into a long already, which was, I believe, right here. Use this as my stop loss because that's my protected Wyckoff low. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So clean stop loss. And do the daily high, or that this high would have not been like 1.2, but the target was a new weekly high right there. My entry was a little bit lower, like a 2.5 R. And then this was the trade where yeah, I just wanted to be in because my bias has been all week to make a new weekly high. So I wanted to be in, and yeah, we had a good local bottom formation, buy side liquidity above, potentially good daily low, internally broke back to bullish, creating a range demand right here. And in case price would have come into the range demand and then flipped back to bullish like this, then I would have added size on the break. So put in more money in a trade and would have tightened my stop. So then you can reduce risk and add more back into your position. And then it would also have been a nice trade. But yeah, price did not give the local range mitigation and instead just pushed higher. So that was another nice trade. And that gave like the aggressive push higher. Then we had a pretty strong retrace back down, but that's what often happens. If you have like a strong push up, price can also strongly come back. But if you use the volume profile, you can see that it was a super clean retest of your value. So this is like your value area where you can go rotations back and forth until you get like a clean break above. Then price often likes to retrace or retest the value area high and then continue higher if it's a good breakout. And here you see that price taps the value area high exactly and then starts pushing higher. So this was like breakout, retest, continuation, in which this was basically a local range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. So super clean. But yeah, I don't think there was a good entry opportunity. Yeah, there was like supply and there was no structure in this leg. And since there, price has basically been slowly grinding higher. So getting an entry would have been hard. Then you would have to got in expecting the value area high to hold and then put your stop like below the POC. That could have been a trade, but not really how I would have liked to play it. So yeah, probably I would have not traded it again. But right now we are pushing into new highs, which makes it interesting. Like this local range is not in play anymore. This can go away. But right now we are nearing the idea. So this is our 4-hour swing bearish structure. So big level to keep an eye on. And then 12-hour swing structure is above it. And this is basically the area where I expect that manipulation. This is our new range pool. You can see where's the deviation threshold is up into 78. So what I mainly expect is that we get a replica of what we had here, where basically this was that last breakout where everyone went super bullish, breakout longs before going down, where you had a lot of sell side liquidity. And right now it almost looks too obvious, but crazy the same. Manipulate in here, then go down, and then start our high time frame accumulation is what I think is most likely. Because bottoming, like creating a bottom with this much sell side liquidity, it's very weird. So I'm gonna observe this price action right here, but like last time we stayed there for 14th of Jan to like a week. So I'm not gonna jump into shorts right here, not at all. Because if it's indeed a bearish period 3, then it's probably gonna do something like this, come back in the range, and then come down. And it will probably take like a week or so. So for the time being, market is bullish. But overall, I'm keeping in mind the bearish period 3 idea. But yeah, locally, demand is clearly in control, structure is up, so don't get into shorts blindly. Let's see. Welcome Dylan, welcome Mel as well. The absorption. Yeah, it's yesterday, who was it, Pulaski or so? I could hear myself say it. The absorption. Sounds like a kind of a Marvel special magic thing. Great to see the whole thought process going to study this stream. Thanks, good to hear. And yeah, right now we have, this is like a pretty strong breakout so far. So you have to see how this goes, but we have demand protecting the range high. So could also be that you get like your mitigation, continuation, like this. But it's obviously riskier. But so far this is pushing up pretty strong. And here technically locally you already had your mitigation, I see, with this wick. Which makes this the fresh demand. And also some demand below it. I think a lot of, we can have a look. I think a lot of shorts are now getting squeezed as well. Yeah, so this looks strong. And the weekly VWAP has been a strong absorber this week. 1, 2, 3, wicked into it and then continued higher. Yeah, so spot is buying a lot. Perps are also buying and open interest is also going higher. So that's basically just very healthy. As long as price also goes up. You don't want to get like a lot of top longers right there. And then if price breaks structure back to bearish, then they are fucked. But for now, looks pretty healthy. Price also making higher lows and higher highs. So until that changes, looks super strong. I need a DD dictionary. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, I don't even realize anymore how many like jargon I'm using. But for now, I can imagine for new people that like all these terms, like what the fuck, what in the world is he talking about? But just ask it and then I can explain it. Well, what is USDT doing then? That's breaking down, obviously. Yeah, so this range is broken and it's even below the main range low. Yeah, so we have like big imbalance here, which is a pretty big POI. So that is getting interesting. And then this is like, I'm gonna pull a new range. Because to me, this is now too vertical. So my new range pool is going to be from the tab 2. It's this one. In which this is our tab 1. Like the starting point of the range, this is tab 1 as well. And we are now potentially creating tab 2 or in the process of tab 2. With something to keep an eye on later on. Pretty crazy liquidity drill. So if this reverses, then we have to keep an eye on it. But locally, this is bearish, super bearish. With this being supply. And high time frame, that's like here. High time frame, it's also getting super interesting because this has been a strong as fuck range, very long one as well, with a 1, 2, 3, like basically a model 2 accumulation. So this was range, initiation, mitigation, continuation, potentially. So high time frame, we are nearing like super interesting levels down here. So definitely interesting, and it also kind of aligns with Bitcoin going to 80K, 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 80 Oh yeah, it's already almost at 80k, but it will be like 82, 83k. It's the same range, more or less, as UCT giving that single print and range retest. So definitely super interesting levels to keep an eye on. So yeah, let's look at the chat. April has been amazing. The Discord is, yeah, definitely April so far super good. And basically since the Discord is live, like cannot complain. Good price action. Disappointed in myself. Had the trades ready for long on Tau yesterday. Yeah, oh, Tau. Shit. And Xec earlier this morning when I got up, but doubted myself. Confidence have to do my journal. Yeah, journal it and don't be too hard on yourself. It's part of the process. DD dictionary would be great. Today suddenly I heard vector candles. Yeah, like I'm already pretty limited in time, but I will put it in my list to do, maybe in the dictionary. But I guess it's gonna take a long time. Obstacles are our wings. True. Taking notes in high speed helps, and I'll get there. But it would be cool. Yeah, I will think about it. I just had a idea, but I'm not. I've already lost it. Yeah, so let me quickly go over the other coins. So ETH is also like super bullish. Yesterday that same wick in that local range and then pushed higher, not giving a really clean entry, unfortunately. And yeah, like this is the main range. People will look to short this for the third tap, but this is too strong of a third tap, so I'm not looking at that. What could happen is that it is like a bearish period 3, where then often you get like a aggressive move, and then stall out, and then get like a local range, maybe sweep it high, then get back, and then take all this sell side liquidity. So keeping an eye on that. Until then, here demand is fully in control. And I think like, when did we say it? Like when we took the Bitcoin long to start the week, right here. That was where Kijos as well said, I believe. Like everyone is super bearish, but we didn't fail it. We thought, yeah, this manipulation is probably already a fake move. And there we said, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we push into new weekly highs, or at least new highs at all, since probably the max pain for most people is to make new highs, because everyone was bearish. And that's exactly what is happening. So that's good to see that despite the overall bias, we just stick to our plan. And that long here, oh my god, that would have been like a... you should not think about it, because it makes no sense to still think about it, but would have been like 30 or 40 R by now. But yeah, ETH super strong. Don't look for shorts at all until you see clear weakness. And if you get like a backtest into demand with like local structure confirmation, you can also look for longs, because this local trend from this low up has been super bullish. Low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. I need to change this back to a line. Like eventually it will break, but until it breaks, most likely is that it continues. So yeah, ETH, a lot of people have been shorting ETH also, but if you just looked at structure, there was no short at all, just bullish continuation. So expect continuation until proven otherwise. Hype we already discussed, getting close to that extreme liquidity. And Sol has been in this range, where at first at 1, 2, 3, local 3 drive, which was the starting point of the range, so that's the range high. Basically the same as if we have seen on a lot of coins. On Tao, for example, is exactly the same. 3 drive, and on gold also is 3 drive, creating the range high, coming back down, sweeping the range low, and then creating an accumulation going higher. Although Sol did not really have like a clean third tap, but that one is now also pushing higher, and I'm gonna ignore this range. I think this will go back to the range high right here. With a bit more sketchy price action. So let's go over Tao, because that one was painful. Like here as well. 3 drive down, creating the start of the range low. 3 drive up, creating the high of the range. So at range low, range high. And eventually here, yesterday we swept the range low for tap 2. And then price made like aggressive move down, aggressive move up, came down, and that was actually the higher low. But yeah, I checked it today. For me, it was not like a super clean entry confirmation or anything. So I would have loved to see this be mitigated later on, but we did not get it. So that's unfortunate, but like there was not super clean demand. Was this demand? It's buy candle. Where's the chart? So yeah, it was a very quick like third tap. I would not call it a third tap. So yeah, just unfortunate. And now I'm not gonna look at it from that range again. Looks more like we have a breakout. So this is like the internal breakout structure. And would not be surprised if this is our new trend in the making right now. And then at least can look for a move into this liquidity. So yeah, they played me nicely, predicting everything into like from here already period 3 and everything, but not giving an entry. Motherfuckers. But yeah, you cannot win them all. Let's see. Although it's that maybe it wasn't a lack of confidence, but rather just not a clean. Yeah, like for me, it was not a super clean. So yeah, like you could have like this time if you took it, it would have worked. But if it would have stepped you out, then you would probably have journaled it, and then was like, yeah, it was a bad trade. It was not a clear three tap. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but part of it. So now it's pushing up strongly, but the whole market is pushing up strongly going into the weekend. But it seems like the war is more or less over. So therefore, I'm interested in what is oil doing. Stock market. Stock market pushing crazy into new all-time highs. Like if you ever doubt about liquidity curves, this liquidity curve just showed or validated that once they get taken, they squeeze super hard. Right now, yeah, new all-time highs, like the economy is fully fine. There's nothing in the world happening. But yeah, crazy. What is oil? Oil, 12% down. Yeah, that's and imagine how oil topped with that local model, that 3 drive right here. It's literally top of oil. Yeah, this looks good to go to the range lows. So yeah, that's also obviously also why probably everything is pushing so hard. And this is the best indication that the war is, or at least they say it's over. But I want to see it after the weekend if it's true, because we know how they want to manipulate. Then let's discuss gold. At the clean long, and we tapped into that supply. I closed everything here just with an order. It could have been like 7R towards that supply. Could have left a runner, to be honest. But yeah, that's in hindsight. And the 7R, I can't complain. But yeah, we had this pre-planning, which this is like picture perfect. It's crazy. Where we had supply, basically this supply, where I wanted to look for that 1, 2, 3, and then wanted to short it. So I had my alert at this supply to look for shorts. But yeah, we just front ran that supply and then confirmed the model, like the 3 drive here already. Then price eventually traveled towards the range low for the tap 2. And there we pre-planned like 1, 2 to watch for this to turn into a model 2 or a model 1. And then yesterday it was a bit, I was looking for like, am I gonna look for the model 1, for the model 2? But yeah, I saw price going up slowly right here and creating liquidity. So they are already set to Bren in the DM. Like I would not be surprised if this step is eventually the extreme liquidity and that we sweep that tomorrow and then maybe push higher. So I did not want to enter and using this as my stop loss as the third tab, because the distance between the tabs was also too short. So I waited, and then this morning I saw that we had that push into the new low for the 3 drive. And that was when I was like, okay, if like that's why I love the 3 drive so much, because if you have the third drive and then a push higher, then you already know like if this model is gonna be valid, this is a super clean invalidation. So they can just watch what this price going to do, because this should be protected. Then price pushed higher, basically broke structure back to bullish, bit sketchy, to broke it to bullish, came down, and this was where I was super interested. So let me close some tabs because it's a bit laggy. So here I saw price going down. Where we had low, came up, tap 2. So here was like, is this potentially a very local model? Came down, up, SFP. So here was like, okay, is this maybe the sweep, SFP of the low, means we go back to that high. And that this was the, like the third tap, model 2. So I watched this, and then where was my entry? I saw it break back to bullish right here. And then I think I entered around here, putting my stop under this sweep, which was basically the 1, 2, 3, the model 1 into the model 2, because price came into demand. Where was the demand? Yeah, here. So your extreme demand is less demand before your range low. Here we had clean 3-minute demand, and gold can be so clean sometimes. It's almost unbelievable clean. Like here, demand, extreme demand mitigation, super clean with that sweep. And that was like, and then we broke this downtrend. So we came down low, lower high, lower low, broke above. Basically breaking this local structure back to bullish, therefore validating this low as the third tap, or like the fourth tap of the model 1 into the model 2. So that is where I entered. Stop loss there. I entered around there, I think. Target the range high. And then I first saw price going against me. So there I thought I entered and almost directly price went against me. That's always a bit unfortunate. Then you start to doubt yourself a bit. But I was like, I'm just gonna let it run because I trust this. It should be a protected Wyckoff tab. So just watch it. Then I went to the gym and I saw this local downtrend low, lower high, lower low. And I knew if this is gonna break back to bullish, then I'm probably safe. So we broke that local downtrend back to bullish and then pushed pretty easily directly into the range high because we had all the buy side liquidity. So again, here you can see the moment you break structure back to bullish and you have a good looking liquidity trail above you, then it's just a super quick push into new highs. So it was again a super clean trade and it's playing out. Yeah, it's just crazy to see it makes pre-planning and then play it out almost exact, or not in the exact way I expected it, but more like distribution, potentially going over into that accumulation, getting that extended accumulation and then taking out that range high. And now potentially watching for that 1, 2, 3. Now that we tapped into this supply. But we have a massive gap above, so I will not be surprised if we go for that supply as well. But yeah, lovely trade, and yeah, this week one of my best trading weeks had in a long time. So I don't know if it's the market or the group or what it is, but it's amazing. With a daily, weekly, and monthly unfinished candle on oil. At 6722. Oh, that's way below. 6722. So old drawings. Yeah, it's probably these candles from where the pump started. Yeah, that's likely this one. Yeah, I would not be surprised if we clear that. And probably if we clear that, then we take also all this sales at liquidity. So might even go to lower levels. But for Well, here we had a model 2 accumulation, breaking structure back to bullish. So this can also be seen as a bullish range. The retest of that. We had unfinished candle just above, and then likely demand protecting it. Let's see. Yeah, on a certain time frame, this will be demand. So that's a big level to watch with that imbalance above. So yeah, let's keep an eye on it. I really liked to trade oil for a bit, but now it's getting more vertical. So then I don't really like it. So yeah, are there any questions? Otherwise, for me, there's no trading anymore. I'm gonna enjoy the profits. So I'm going out for dinner. But the way gold is going up is also pretty not for like in the future. We will come back for this eventually for all of this weird liquidity. That can take a long time. Bitcoin is squeezing hard. And this is where people go, a lot of people are now getting into shorts. So don't do that. You can literally see it on the price action. These are shorts getting squeezed. And there's no reason to short it because all structure is pointing up. Even your most local structure is just going like this. But people miss the move. They want to compensate for it. And then the only thing they see is like, I'm too late, too long. So let me short it. And then you lose even more and then you are in a dead spiral. I've been there, done that. I shorted oil at the highs, but took profit at the local range low. Oh, nice short. But yeah, like in hindsight, you will always look at it and think, oh, it was like, yeah, from position wise, good feel of this crazy week. Local 3 drive in extreme premium. So yeah, it was pretty good short. I discussed it during the stream. Remember saying that this was likely the top. I did not take a or did I take a short? I don't know. I don't think that I took the short. So yeah, then I think I can wrap up the stream. So yeah, overall, be careful with shorting it until you see clear weakness, which is either like a clean range and then with distribution like that, or like a clean tree drive, or flip structure back to bearish, or see demand failure. That are signs to get potentially into short. Right now, don't look at short. And also don't long this, obviously. But yeah, personally, mostly interested in potential the bearish PO3. See if that forms over the next week. Because right now, markets are pumping pretty hard on that the war, aka the war, is over. So that's like a reason to push price higher. But people will likely realize next week that it makes no sense that the stock market, for example, is now higher than it was before the war. Because we are in a worse situation. So why are we much higher? So maybe that now the market is feeling like the emotions, oh yeah, it's good news and stuff. But if they just realize what is truly going on, then maybe this is an overreaction to the upside. And then we go eventually down again. And if we do not go down, then I'm just gonna long local ranges, local stuff. So yeah, I'm not pinpointing to any bias. But I think, yeah, if we're gonna get the reversal, it will be soon. And otherwise, we just play local levels. So I'm looking forward to the next weeks and months. And then I want to thank everyone for yet another crazy week, lovely week with a lot of people joining the stream every day, literally every day. And yeah, we are doing well. And if you are not doing well, then don't compare yourself to others. Like normally, I don't share my numbers because yeah, it's not. I don't think it's how to say it. I don't want other people to feel like falling behind because I've been there as well. That you are in a negative week, and then you see someone post like that they're up, this and that, and then you feel like shit that you are a horrible trader. Then you try to compensate it, and then take another loss, and then you can always kill yourself for performing so poorly. So normally I don't want to share it, but this time I was just proud of the community and everything. But if you are in a loss this week, then don't be too hard on yourself because that's just part of the process. Just try to learn from it, journal it, and yeah, eventually with enough will and dedication and a bit of delusionness, then everyone can get there. So thanks everyone, and enjoy the weekend for sure. I will watch the chart a little bit, but for the Dutch guys, I live near the Bollenstreek, so tomorrow it's like everyone is gonna watch the tulip boats and stuff going by. So that's always a day where from yeah you start drinking early. So maybe I watch the charts, but it's not. I'm not gonna trade. That's one thing for sure. Thank you everyone, and speak to you guys in the Discord as always. And don't forget to enjoy the weekend. Cheers.